As a progressive, I think I speak for many of us when I say that we're really disillusioned with Elizabeth Warren because she chose to abandon one of the most progressive presidential candidates ever and someone who she agrees with on 99.9% of the issues, if not 100% of the issues, all to endorse Hillary Clinton, an establishment Wall Street-backed candidate. So a new story released by Politico is making it seem like Elizabeth Warren is starting to regret her decision to endorse Hillary Clinton. So they explain Senator Elizabeth Warren and her allies aren't waiting for Election Day. Months before the votes have been counted, they're already exerting pressure on Hillary Clinton's transition team over key hiring decisions. Warren's coalition is developing a hit list of the types of people they'll oppose, what one source called hell no appointments in a Clinton administration. They're vowing to fight nominees with ties to big banks and warn against corporate executives assuming government roles and regulating the industries that made them rich. Warren has a mantra, personnel is policy, and behind the scenes, Warren, her allies, and a left-leaning think tank affiliated with her have fanned out to try to influence the Clinton hiring process long before the election results come in. Okay, so clearly if she knows that she's going to really have to fight like hell to get Hillary Clinton to be progressive, maybe you made a mistake endorsing her. Maybe you backed the wrong candidate. So I could tell by this, Elizabeth Warren is thinking, oh God, what the hell did I do? So if you, quote, are going to be fighting against nominees with ties to big banks, you do know that you're literally going to have to fight against Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine too, right, Elizabeth Warren? Because they are directly in the pockets of Goldman Sachs and Wall Street. So are you going to fight Hillary Clinton? Because you did it. You ran towards her. You abandoned Bernie Sanders and you fought for Hillary Clinton during the primary. So you're not actually going to be fighting against Wall Street-backed candidates, because if you were going to do that, you would have not endorsed the Wall Street-backed candidate. See the problem there? And look, I'm going to say it again. I'm beating that dead horse. If it's the case that you know you have to fight like hell with Hillary Clinton if she's president, maybe you endorsed the wrong candidate. So thankfully, Warren has been relatively successful at pressuring Hillary Clinton. Quote, Rohit Chopra, who was hired by Warren at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is joining Clinton's transition team. And Heather Boshi, popular among progressives because of her focus on income inequality, was recently chosen as the team's chief economist. And look, that's great. I'll take a win wherever I can get one. So kudos to Elizabeth Warren for fighting and actually winning by putting pressure on Hillary Clinton. But again, I can't shake the thought that you wouldn't even have to fight at all if Bernie Sanders was the nominee. Where were you when he needed you in Massachusetts? It just blows my mind. Now get this. Warren, who declined to comment through an aide, has said little publicly about the transition, in contrast to her more vocal supporters, but sources familiar with her thinking say she will sound the alarm if she feels the need to block a major appointment. The showdown over personnel is stoking tension within the party, especially in the wake of the hard-fought primary between Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders. Some progressives fear that if Republicans hold the Senate, Clinton might cut deals with them and choose people with corporate ties. Now, additionally, congressional progressives will be putting pressure on Clinton to choose, quote, Warren type of people. Well, if Hillary Clinton wanted to appoint, quote, Warren type people, wouldn't she have selected Elizabeth Warren to be her VP? No, she didn't do that. She could have tried to unify the base. I don't know that she would have been successful, but she could have chosen Elizabeth Warren as her VP pick. And I think that would have brought over a lot more progressives, certainly not all of them, but a lot more. Instead, she chose Tim Kaine, the worst possible choice she could have ever chosen, a Wall Street-funded candidate. So she didn't choose to ameliorate any of the concerns we had about her ties to Wall Street and pick Elizabeth Warren, who we know would probably put pressure on her to not do the bidding of her Wall Street donors. Instead, she chose Tim Kaine. So I don't think Hillary Clinton really is that interested in, quote, Warren type of candidates. If she chose a Wall Street VP pick, Hillary Clinton doesn't want to be progressive. She doesn't even want to be liberal. This notion that she might sell out if Republicans control Congress is completely ridiculous. Hillary Clinton already sold out when she decided to take millions of dollars from Wall Street in the first place. So you can't already sell out if you've sold out long ago. So even though Elizabeth Warren has been relatively successful at getting Hillary Clinton to appoint more progressive people to her transition team, it's very obvious that Elizabeth Warren is now starting to regret her decision to endorse Hillary Clinton. Remember that Elizabeth Warren, we all thought she was going to run in the first place. I think she probably would have had a better chance of beating Hillary than Bernie did, seeing that she's just more charismatic, I think, than Bernie Sanders. But you can tell Elizabeth Warren is now starting to regret her decision to endorse Hillary Clinton, because if you have to put pressure on a so-called progressive, a so-called liberal, then yeah, you realize you made a mistake.
And when it comes to the financial industry, securities, investment, Hillary Clinton's campaign and super PAC have raised $47 million from that industry. Only $345,000 from that industry is going to Donald Trump. I know you don't think that these people are giving to Hillary Clinton's campaign and super PAC out of the goodness of their heart. Does that trouble you?
Am I troubled about the influence of Wall Street in every election that happens in this country? You bet I am.
Including Hillary Clinton?
Well, but I want to be clear on this one. I think one reason you see them not giving to Donald Trump is they look around and say, Donald Trump is bad for business.
I know I don't need to tell you, there are a lot of progressives out there who are very suspicious of Hillary and Bill Clinton, who think that the Bill Clinton years were bad for the middle class, who think that the trade deals were bad for them. These are people who supported Bernie Sanders, who support you. Why should they support Hillary Clinton, who's been part of the system, and you've criticized her for bankruptcy bill and for other things? Why should they support her over somebody who they think might shake up the system, like a Donald Trump or a Jill Stein or a Gary Johnson?
Look, Hillary Clinton has laid out a progressive agenda. The way I see it, it is the job of progressives to help her get elected on a progressive agenda and then work our rear ends off to help get that progressive agenda enacted when she is president.
And kind of be a watchdog.
You bet.
Of the Clinton administration, if there is one.
You bet.
Do you have any concerns that Clinton is, as Donald Trump depicted her, when it comes to foreign policy, too trigger happy, too militaristic, too eager to send in troops? That's a knock on her that we've heard from many progressives, and Donald Trump is repeating it as well.
Look,
I've made a huge mistake.
So in the end, I hope Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders put pressure on Hillary Clinton throughout the duration of her administration if she is elected. But we're always going to remember the time when Elizabeth Warren chose to run away from Bernie during the primary in hopes that she would be Clinton's VP pick. She pissed off all of her supporters in the process, all for nothing. Now, knowing that Hillary Clinton is obviously a corporatist Democrat, Warren is starting to realize that she's really going to have to fight tooth and nail to get Hillary Clinton to actually represent the people and not her donors. Good job, Elizabeth Warren, because if you chose to run against Hillary Clinton and actually challenge the Clinton machine and the political establishment, you wouldn't have to fight at all. It'd be in your hands, or you could have just endorsed Bernie Sanders. But now you're going to have to fight like hell to get Hillary Clinton to do the bidding of the American people. That's not progressive. That's not what you do when you have a progressive in the White House. So, I mean, in the end, this is a complete fail on your part by endorsing her in the first place, Elizabeth.